I'm not gonna lie to you, that first episode of What If Season 2 was kind of hard. The MCU might really be back. Like, they didn't have to go that hard. And they went that hard. Back on the MCU roller coaster of it's over, we're back. But this first episode of What If is legit one of my favorite things the MCU has ever done. Is it because essentially it's Blade Runner 2049 meets the Batman, aka it's literally me? Yeah, that's the main reason. I just finished watching it, we gotta talk about it, but I am gonna give you a spoiler warning. I am gonna be recapping the entire episode and give you my honest spoiler-filled thoughts of the episode, so you're not trying to be spoiled, make sure you drop a like, follow, but come back later because I need to hear your thoughts. We pick up this episode in a rainy, neon-soaked version of Xandar, and Yondu's been murdered. Shot in the back, though? Hey, yo! As we see a member of the Nova Corp perched over the dead body, turns out it's Nebula, and then reinforcements arrive, this dude from Guardians 1. So it turns out in this universe, Thanos got offed again. The disrespect What If has for Thanos needs to be studied, and Ronan is the big bad of this universe. But in his process of killing Thanos and killing basically everyone in the Black Order, he didn't finish off Nebula. She's like a cockroach, which is when she gets picked up by Nova Prime, as she says, "Take my hand," which I think is a great callback to Peter Quill and his mom. So Nebula becomes a member of the Nova Corps and pledges her allegiance on the worst day because Ronan decides to destroy Xandar. But in a desperate move, the Nova Corps decides to shield their entire planet for 50 years, but keeping them safe from Ronan. But no sunlight leaves us in a very, very dark version of Xandar. Look at this shot. We pick up with Nebula doing some of her own detective work. I mean, she's essentially Kay and the Batman put together as she monologues through this. But she's looking for Yondu's weapon, and she pulls a 5-head move by using an old recording of Yondu whistling, which brings his arrow back to Nebula. Quick glazing of this shot. Turns out there was a bunch of schematics for something on his arrow. Nova Prime tells Nebula to solve this case by any means necessary. So she pulls up to this bar/casino. You can see Groot. Meek is a sushi chef. She sells sushi by the seashore. And Drax is literally me when I lose any type of bet. But she pulls up to bartender Corp, who points her to the direction of the big boss. That's right, the GOAT. Howard the motherfucking Duck. As she basically explains everything up to this point. Asks him if he knows what these schematics could be. They don't know, but Corp does. Apparently it's a schematic to the shield around Xandar. God damn, look at this shot. So Nebula hatches an idea to break someone out from prison with knowledge of these schematics. Again, another cold ass shot. And that person is Yon-Rogg. Who? The main villain from the first Captain Marvel movie. I don't blame you if you forgot. Anyway, she breaks him out. I really like this overhead shot. If I told you this was from Blade Runner, would you not believe me? Of course, you can't really trust Yon-Rogg, but they pull up on the schematic place regardless. They finally reach the data core of the shield. Love this shot. As Nebula, being a machine herself, connects to the data core. Love this shot too. But of course, you can't trust Yon-Rogg because he sticks a microchip in her. Hey, yo. As Yon-Rogg is going to deliver this to Ronan, and he leaves Nebula stuck to the core. As it begins to flood, he closes the door behind her. But like I said, Nebula is a cockroach and finds a way out. Explosion! As she survives. I don't know why this shot reminds me of Emperor's New Groove for some reason. But footsteps approach a weakened Nebula, and the deception! The betrayal. Turns out Nova Prime was in on this the whole time. As she explains to Nebula, the conditions of Xandar have been terrible, so reasoning with Ronan is the only option. Nebula is heartbroken because this is the person she looked up to and she went back on the oth. Anyway, Nova Prime decides to try to finish off Nebula. Hey, yo, I'm not gonna lie, they were beating the brakes off of Nebula. There's gotta be police brutality. She escapes and jumps off a cliff into the unknown. I'm gonna stop playing. But they call this her end of watch as they think she's dead. But she's a cockroach. As a very destroyed Nebula walks through the street, she pulls up on the casino gang. They help repair her, and she puts Yondu's fin on her head. We got this new little pseudo Guardians of the Galaxy. Howard the Duck even got his little comic accurate headband. But as the shield begins to open and Ronan approaches, quickly shuts and blows his ass up. I don't know what the MCU has against Thanos and Ronan. This man ain't getting no break. As they pull up on the Nova betrayers, and we got ourselves a little standoff. Really like this callback to the first Guardians of Groot beating the shit out of all these guards. And Korg pulling a Hulk on Loki, the Yon-Rogg and head Nova bitch. Nova Prime tries to escape, but Nebula jumps on her ship. It crashes. Nova Prime is left hanging there. When this time it's Nebula reaching out saying, "Take my hand." She of course tries to shoot Nebula. And bye-bye Glenn Close. Nothing for Glenn Coco. As the sun begins to shine on Xandar, we end with literally me Nebula being a damn hero. Look, if this is what season 2 is going to be made of, I cannot wait for the next 9 episodes. They're really in their fucking bag. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always, like and follow for more.